E-bike met pannen, eindelijk een zebrapad en de zoektocht naar D'Artagnan. Hallo kijkers, dit is nieuws van dinsdag 23 juni. Morgenmiddag kunnen kinderen vanaf boekhandel Dominicana speuren naar de schat van de Musqueteers. Net als muis Molly uit het prentenboek van de uit Andorra afkomstige auteur Gregory Coonen. Als kind was hij geïntrigeerd door D'Artagnan, nog voordat hij wist dat deze musketier in Maastricht aan zijn einde kwam. Het toeval wil dat Coonens vader geboren is in Houten-Sint-Gerlach. Deze week was de auteur terug in de stad die inmiddels zijn hart gestolen heeft en morgen stuurt hij dus de Maastrichtse kinderen op pad.
And we're going to go from one place to another, and then the winners will get a book. But it's fantastic. I think that they've had this idea to replicate a little bit the treasure hunt in the book, and to do it in Maastricht for young kids, because that's what it's all about. It's for kids to have fun.
Straks in onze reportage meer over het bijzondere prentenboek. Naast de film Code M en het initiatief voor een internationale musketiersroute van Zuid-Frankrijk naar Maastricht is er nu ook een prentenboek dat aandacht besteedt aan de in 1673 in onze stad gesneuvelde musketier. Een boek in het Engels, Frans en Nederlands dat geschreven is door de in Andorra woonachtige globetrotter Gregory Coonen. Wij spraken hem vandaag.
My connection with Maastricht goes back many years, because my father was born in Limburg, and he was raised in Houten-Sint-Gerlach his whole life, and he left when he was in his 20s to go study in Geneva, and from there he met my mom, who's American, and then they settled in Paris. And that's why speaking French and English, and then we learned Russian and Spanish and other languages. I never learned Dutch because he didn't take the time.
Later reisde Gregory als journalist de hele wereld over, maar één historische figuur bleef hem sinds zijn jeugd intrigeren.
D'Artagnan was one of my favorite characters when I was a child. I used to love to fence and play, and D'Artagnan for French kids has always been quite a myth. I was very pleased to see that there's many Dutch people who are thrilled and also have this idea of D'Artagnan. So it's quite nice, I think, in common days to have these old heroes that the youth can revert to, and that's another reason why I wanted to put D'Artagnan in the book, because I think our youth has a lot of these heroes that have sometimes the wrong values, like being the biggest and the ones that can kill the most in the video games or whatever. And I think D'Artagnan had amazing values. Even his love for food and friends and friendship and women is something that then was the norm. And I don't know now if we take that much time to be with our friends, to have a great big meal with so these are values that I think are important beyond the fighting and defending, and the tous pour un pour tous, I think is a fantastic theme to transmit and values to transmit to our children.
Enkele jaren geleden begon Gregory met het schrijven van kinderverhalen.
I was an editor for years and a journalist, and I interviewed many politicians, and I sometimes found it interesting, sometimes less. And I had two daughters, and when they were born I tried to explain the world, and so at night I tell them stories, and I found that's a very nice way to tell them about the environment and explain to them also some history. My children sometimes initially did not read enough, and like their friends they wanted to watch TV and play video games all day and Nintendo and computers. And so through children's books I can really get their attention.
In het prentenboek Molly en de schat van de musketiers gaat muis Molly door heel Maastricht op zoek naar het graf en dus de schat van D'Artagnan. En op diverse plekken in de stad vindt ze aanwijzingen.
When the characters of the book, Chloe, Cecilia and Molly, come here to look for the clues, they probably looked in this room because there was a indication that this was an important room. That's why they have the Louis XIV drawing. And obviously what I think is very interesting is that you know, Louis XIV was very saddened when D'Artagnan died, and he had his Musketeers obviously take care of the remains, but the mystery remains. We don't know where, as we were saying, he was actually buried.
What's the clue they find here?
Actually, they find no clue here. But I wanted to put this bookstore in the story because I've, as you know, traveled to many different countries. I've never seen a bookstore this beautiful anywhere. And this goes back to what we were saying, you know, if we can try to get young people to come to a bookstore like this and see the magic of this place. They might buy one book or two books, and then that keeps them gets them on reading, and they read many more books. And through reading, they have access to culture and so much more than I think we have in video games. So this was the reason for me it was important to put a bookstore.
I guess your children won't read the Dutch version.
They, you know, I feel, as I told you, quite ashamed I don't speak Dutch, and so I'm going to learn Dutch, you know, this in the coming years. And I will try to teach Dutch to my children, but they speak 6 languages already. Because in Andorra they have Catalan, Spanish, and French, which are the national languages. They're learning English, and they're going to take, you know, Russian or Chinese later on in college. So it's a lot, but I want them to learn Dutch. Yeah.
Will they find the treasure?
You have to read. You have to read the book to find out. But it's a children's book, so it's obviously a happy ending.
Is it possible that Molly will return to Maastricht for another story?
It's possible. You never know. You know, I'm partially from here. My blood is from here, and I love Maastricht and Limburg, and so I hope so. I hope we can find another mystery. It would be a great pleasure for me.
En dit was het nieuws van vandaag.